activity speech. I'm about 25. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate one to end. It's like kind of a microcosm. It's not only your all's last, it's my last speech that I get to This is a really good one to go out. Like any 8th grader, I guess, or like any middle schooler. Work in progress. John was a little slow to start on the speech. He was even slower to complete it, such that it was a work in progress, even up to last hour, even up to today. We finally got it done. But in the end, it turned out great. I mean, it really did. It's kind of the story of John's middle school career. Sometimes to get him going, I had to talk nicely to him. Sometimes I had to threaten him a little bit. Sometimes I had to yell a little bit. But in the end, we just reasoned it all out, and it came out beautiful. So, our last speech of the year, John Nickols.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming to my speech. My journey through collegiate has been anything but uneventful, full of unexpected turns, late nights doing homework, and a couple of B's and C's. But through all the chaos, it's been an amazing experience because of the great people I've met, the different things I've tried, and everything I've learned to love. Seeing what I've done and how my experience has been, my quote is, success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome. This quote resonates deeply with me because of the challenges I've faced and how they have shaped me far more than any achievement or title. Today, I want to share how overcoming the obstacles on my journey to define exactly who I am and what success truly is. At collegiate, being parts of sports such as lacrosse, basketball, and cross country has been one of the most meaningful parts of my middle school journey. Each sport has taught me something different, and I still remember so many basketball and lacrosse games where we had to face tough opponents and games that really tested us. Not just physically, but as teammates. And in those moments, we learned to trust each other, to communicate, and to work together. Cross country was a different kind of challenge than I was normally used to. And I used to think sports were always a team effort. But cross country was different. It was more individual. I learned to pace myself, to stay focused when my legs won't quit, and to keep going when no one else was around to push me. It taught me to use a kind of quiet determination I didn't know I had. But I wasn't always alone. I had friends and coaches pushing me to do my best, even though they weren't with me every step of the way. That's why I like cross country, and how it is a team sport that requires individual effort and resilience when faced with hard tasks. Basketball helped me grow in confidence, learning how to be aggressive on defense when I needed to be, how to run plays, and how to take a shot even when the pressure was on. And lacrosse, with its fast pace, constant movement, and high energy atmosphere, showed me the importance of staying sharp and thinking a few steps ahead, while also being able to keep my eyes open and stay focused. Looking back, sports have given me more than just memories and wins. They've taught me discipline, resilience, and how to bounce back from a tough loss or bad day. They've helped me form some strong friendships that come from working through practices, celebrating wins, and picking each other after losses. Sports have shaped me, and I know I'll continue to do that in high school. In 7th grade, I decided to try out for middle school rock band after seeing one of the performances. I was inspired to try a vocal performance and wanted to give it a shot. I was nervous all the way up to my audition. I even practiced with Miss Kinston just to be confident enough to improve it. When I finished my audition, Mr. Keys and Mr. Lerner thanked me for trying out, and then I left. I felt a heavy sense of dread all throughout the weekend, thinking I could have done better, and that I wouldn't get it. Then I saw the invitation to join rock band, and my heart soared. A few days later, we had our first practice with everyone just being as nervous as I was. But slowly, we started to gain confidence and learn how to sing and play together. When I got on stage for the first time, I felt the thrill and excitement immediately, and I knew I was going to love doing this. As I kept going, I grew more as a singer, and my love for music grew right alongside me. So as I continue to move forward, it hurts to leave rock band behind, but I hope to keep pursuing music in high school and as a At collegiate, I've had many classes I've enjoyed, but science was always my favorite. I love science because of how it can be intricate while also being beautiful. My first science class at collegiate was in Mrs. Stern's room down the steep staircase that I always felt was going to fall down eventually. I vividly remember growing plants, talking about types of weather, and checking the rain scale outside. And not to mention staring at Funko, wondering how straw could taste good to me. When I moved on to 4th grade, I was introduced to Miss Martin, who really got me going about science just with her knowledge, immense positivity, and confidence. In her class, we got started by natural disasters, the planets, and fossil plants. That same year, we also get to have a Kentucky park ranger who told us about bears in Kentucky and how they like to wander into UK parking lots and grocery stores. In sixth grade, I met Mr. Poole, one of the most memorable science teachers we've had, and I got my first introduction to human anatomy. Learning about muscle groups and our skeletal structure that held us together was fascinating. And one of the best parts of this class was the famous challenge in which we had to figure out how to insulate a camp. My group and I worked together to make a prototype type using trial and error, with the main issue usually being trying to water. Seventh grade was unforgettable, especially because I had Miss Wayman as both my advisor and science teacher. Miss Wayman was always a joy to be around, and my favorite science teacher because of how optimistic she is. Her class was awesome, learning about the mysteries of space, the moon cycles, and prehistoric creatures from millions of years ago. Then at the end of the year, we got to create Rube Goldberg machines, and I remember struggling to create a machine that worked consistently and figuring out what errors me and my group made and trying to correct it all. Then at the end of the year, I remember creating podcasts about pollution, which was fun to be able to create, but also taught me that science is more than just facts in a textbook, but a way to talk about and fix real-world problems. In eighth grade, I was so grateful to have Ms. Kahn as my science teacher. With an immense passion for science and teaching, in the first week it was clear just how much she did. Whether we were learning how atoms and cells work or learning about the periodic table, she made every lesson interesting and exciting. Her knowledge and ability to break down complex ideas made it easy to understand and remember. In the way she lights up when someone asks a great question or finally understands a concept always makes them want to learn more. Her enthusiasm and pride in her success makes it feel like more than just another class, but a genuine learning opportunity. Looking back now, I understand why science means so much to me and why I love it more than any other class. It's because of all the amazing teachers I've had the chance to meet. Back in February 2022, my dad recommended I join a local Boy Scout troop. At first, I was hesitant. My Cub Scout experience had been slow and chaotic, and most meetings feel like a waste of time, and many activities not like going. But my dad kept pushing me to give it a shot, and eventually I agreed. Since then, I've been a part of the BSA Troop 1 of Louisville, Kentucky. It's been one of the most important and memorable parts of my life. I've gone on amazing ventures to the River Gorge, our troop cabin, and more recently to the Mont Scout Ranch in New Mexico. That trip was awesome. It was 2 weeks, 65 miles, and a 50-pound pack. The landscape was gorgeous, with massive mountains, broad valleys, and crimson sunsets. However, things like mediocre trail food, rank outhouses, and the ever-present war against the area because of bears were downsides. But they couldn't overshadow the amount of fun I had for a while. With my fellow Boy Scouts. Afterwards, I came back stronger, more resilient, and more confident. In Boy Scouts, I've achieved the rank of second class. Through my Boy Scout journey so far, I've made some great friends, learned better leadership, and picked up real-world skills. What I love about Boy Scouts is that it offers young men the opportunity to grow and face challenges with responsibility, leadership, and confidence. I've had so much fun scouting, and it's helped me grow into a better version of myself that is more adept, versatile, and mindful of the impact I have on the world around me. I really wondered if I should cover this next topic in my self section, but I decided late one evening that I wanted to cover this. When I was 7 years old, I went to the dentist. Before that day, I was just a happy little kid with friends at school, a sister, a dog, and everything I could ever want. But after that visit, everything changed. The dentist found something strange about me, and soon I was sent to the hospital for tests. I remember sitting in a quiet exam room with my mom, waiting. Then came the results. Cancer. At 7 years old, I didn't fully understand, but I knew that if you got cancer, you most likely die. I was admitted to Norton's critical care wing, where they diagnosed me with stage 4 neuroblastoma, a rare aggressive cancer. Scans showed tumors all over, in my jaw, 90% of my pancreas, and more. In just a few days, my world turned upside down. I lost my hair, contacting my friends and family, and my connection to the outside world. I didn't know what to do. Part of me just wanted to hide under a blanket and hope it would disappear. But I knew that I couldn't. I made a decision that day that I would choose to fight, and I would choose to live. The journey was long and painful. I went through intense chemotherapy, countless surgeries, and every type of treatment we could try. Many days, it felt like time dragged on, being in a hospital bed, eyeglasses, Cincinnati, with just a TV, an iPad, and a teddy bear. It was the longest I ever felt. There was always one person who showed up every single day, and that was my dad. He gave everything to take care of me. Together, we went through the treatments, and slowly they started working. The surgeries became less frequent, I got discharged more often, and then the day I prayed for pain. The day I got to ring the bell that marked the end of my treatment. After 2 years in and out of the hospital, I finally came home, and I got to be with my family again. Now when I look back, I know I'm not the same person I was before, but I experienced a change in me. I'm here. I survived. And every single day, I'm just so grateful to be here and with the people I love. Before I close this speech, I'd like to dedicate it to some important people in my life. First, I'd like to thank my parents for everything they've done for me. Both my mom and my dad have done so much for me, pushing me to do well, taking me on awesome adventures, and taking care of me all my life. I can never thank them or tell them I love them enough. So Mom, Dad, thank you so much. Next, I'd like to thank Miss Payne. She usually has a strict attitude, but once you get to know her and get her talking about squirrels, her amazing personality and this incredibly smart character comes out, and every time it does, it makes me feel happy. Finally, I'd like to thank you. When I say you, I mean everyone in this room. You all have been part of my life one way or another, whether you're one of my closest friends, a person I get to see every day in the hallway, or someone I admire from their buildings. I'm going to miss a lot of you. And going back to my poem, success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles that she has overcome. After everything I've been through and experienced, I've come to truly understand how deeply this quote resonates with me. It's with me when I'm pushing myself in the sports field, hiking with my cross country, solving tough problems in the classroom, or facing the hurdles placed in my path. I've seen a lot of it, so there's so much more ahead. As I move on to high school, I know more challenges will come my way. But now I know that success isn't about the position that I've reached, it's about the obstacles that I've overcome. Thank you for listening to my speech.